My name is Barbie The Welder, and I'm a full-time metal sculptor. No bones about it, you are really going to love today's welding project. I went there. I am going to teach you how to make a middle finger skeleton keychain. And if you're really offended easily, I'm going to teach you how to make a pointer finger skeleton keychain. There's all kinds of different material that you can use for this project. I have all kinds of broken pieces that are cut up, railroad spikes. It will take a little bit more work because of it being square. Bolts, all kinds of different bolts. What I'm going to use today is a 3/8 inch round bar. It's just a small piece cut. Keep in mind that it needs to stay light because it is a keychain and you don't want it to tear out your ignition when you go to start your truck. Because we're cutting and grinding with today's project, it's super important that you're wearing the proper safety gear. If you are already the poster child for safety, then you can take a nap during this next section.
Anytime you're cutting or grinding, you always want to wear a respirator, safety glasses, ear pluggers, and a face shield. You don't want one of these things to come apart or cut into your face. Right.
Alright, to start off with, you're going to take whatever material you're going to use. You're going to take your finger, and I just use that finger, and we'll just add some length for that finger. And you lay it down next to your hand. This bone needs to be that long, so we make a mark here. This bone needs to go from there to there. And there. That's it. Cut it. Now that we have our pieces cut, you're going to weld a ball on either side of each end of your pieces, except for the smallest one. You're just going to do a ball on either side of one end. We're going to leave the other end blank because we're going to taper that down into more of a point, like a fingertip. Alright, there you have your bones. Well, the start of them anyway. Now we'll let them cool off and grind them down. Now that you have your bones welded up, it's time to shape them. Start with your fingertip, and this one's going to get tapered down, not all the way to a point, but it's going to be tapered down pretty thin, like it's going towards a point. I'm using my Tiger Bobcat by Weiler Abrasives. It's a miniature flap disc. This is a little bad boy when it comes to hogging off a lot of material, but keeping a really smooth finish. Alright, so here's the trick to getting the bone look like an actual bone. Where the little nubby is, you're going to take your grinder and you're just going to go up into it, and that's where these really play a crucial part. A regular small flap disc, it's going to actually cut in. This is kind of rounded on the edges, so it allows me to get a more rounded shape. It's going to make the bone look more realistic. Nature's on a roll and we are gone. go ahead and do the same thing for each of your pieces. To make it more realistic, I take the fingertip bone and I round the bottom of it just like your regular finger is rounded, and then I put a fingernail on it. Now it's time to put it together. I've got it laying on the back, like with the back side down, and I'm going to put one tack weld between each. And what that'll do is just by tack welding the one side, it'll pull it up just a little bit, so your finger will have a little bit of a curve to it. See how tacking the one side gave it just a slight bend? I like that shape to it. I think it gives it a little bit more of a realistic feel. So now that you got the one side tacked, go ahead and very carefully weld just in the groove between each piece. Once you get it all welded up, take your grinder and just clean out the center of that, trying to leave the flare on each of the bones. So you just want to get just in the middle of there. As you're grinding and shaping the finger, especially in here, make sure that you're checking for cracks. Make sure that your weld is solid and that it's not going to end up having a piece break off when someone's got it on their keys. To make the finger into a keychain, all I do is I take a small washer, in this case it's a lock washer. I take this and I weld it right onto the back. And I like to weld it straight up and down like this, so when it's hanging off your keys, you can actually see that it's the finger. Just go ahead and put a tack on either side. To finish off your project, you want to clean it with a wire brush and then hit it with a clear coat. You don't have to make a keychain out of these bones. You can use what I've taught you here and make a whole hand. And just think about the shape of each of the bones, like the length, and just do the same thing and then just weld them up. Sometimes I have used references off of Google, like Google a picture and like look at the hand. Like think about, you can look at an actual hand of a human bones so that you can look at the shape of the actual bones. Like they're not perfect, they're not symmetrical, they're kind of off to an angle, but just research it. It will make your project more realistic. It will make you happier with your final outcome. So the harder you work at it, the more you do it, the easier it's gonna get. I hope you guys really enjoyed this project. This one's gonna be available in my Etsy shop. Check it out, Barbie The Welder. Just search etsy.com, ETSY, and just search for my shop, Barbie The Welder. I'll also put a link down in the bio if you have any questions. Also leave them in the comments section. I'd love to hear from you. Did you like the project? What did you like about it? Is there any other projects that you want to see me make that I can help you learn how to do? And then I'll go figure out how to do it, and then I'll show y'all how to do it. Happy welding, guys. Thanks for watching the video.